Welcome to our practice today. Let's start in Tadasana. We'll be working on our feet and our toes. So just notice your toes right now. See about lifting and spreading the toes. And once you get a nice spread to them, release them down. Now let's come to a seated pose so we can work on the toes a little bit more and do a before and after. So as you come to a seated pose, spread your fingers and let's learn how to spread our toes a little bit more. So you can be sitting on, I'm sitting on blocks, you can sit on a chair, it doesn't matter. But see if you can thread your fingers right through your toes and even get the webbing of the fingers to touch the webbing of the toes. Now, at first, this is not going to be so easy. What I'm doing right now is just moving my toes forward and back with my fingers spread as much as possible. And the more I move them forward and back, the more I'm able to get the base of the fingers a little bit closer to the base of the toes. So the toes are going forward and back, and I'm moving them a little side to side just to get things going there, just to get a nice action there. Now, let's imagine that we can twist our foot. Without twisting the ankle, though. So as you pull your heel forward, as if you're trying to turn the foot, turn your big toe the opposite way. Now do the opposite. So pull the baby toes in as you push your heel out. Again, kind of twisting the foot without twisting the ankle. We do all of this to create just a little bit more mobility in the foot. And as you get more mobility, that starts to protect your ankle and your knee. Do that 3 more times. Pull the toes forward as you reach the heel away. Do the opposite. Push the toes forward as you pull the heels toward you. Release your foot down. Did you notice how it starts to affect your hips a little bit? Come to the opposite. How alive your toes feel on the foot. So spread your fingers as you thread your fingers right through the toes. Keep a nice spread there and start working the toes forward and back as you continue to get the base of the fingers, the webbing area, to the base or the webbing of the toes. Go forward and back several times. Go side to side. The foot that you just worked on, can you kind of feel how warm it is and alive it is? This is good. This is exactly what we want. So do that action a little bit deeper, spreading the fingers as they spread the toes. Even sometimes the baby toe is so connected to the 4th toe, it's really hard to get the spread there. Now, see about that twisting action of the foot. So without twisting the ankle, pull your heel toward you as you twist and turn the top of the foot away. Do the opposite, push the heel away and pull the baby toe side toward you. Keep on working the foot so you get just a little bit more flexibility going on. A little bit more aliveness in the foot. And release the foot down. Come to all fours position. In all fours position, reach your right foot straight back. And notice as you press the right foot down, you've got a lot of aliveness in the foot and the ankle and all the way up to the knee. Release the right knee down. Come to the opposite side, so tuck your left toes under, spread the toes, Press the fingertips with the fingers spread nicely. Release now. So have the knees close together. With the toes tucked under, draw your pelvis back toward your heels. So you're putting a little bit more weight on the feet. And you'll really feel quite a sensation, not only in the thighs, but also in the feet. For some of us, that really doesn't work for the knees. A rolled up towel, that just gives you a little bit more freedom to do this action. And come forward. Now come down so that the toenails are pressing the mat, and just set your pelvis down. Once again, the knees can be really fussy in these, so if you put a block under the pelvis, maybe, or a book or whatever you've got, so that you're comfortable, but you're giving the thighs a nice stretch by taking the hands back. So you're just opening the chest nicely. You're still working the toenails against the mat so the feet stay very active. Come back to all fours position. Tuck your toes under. With your toes tucked under, with your inner big toes touching, see about drawing the inner heels together. And again, your choice. You can just park something behind your knees so that you can pause here a little bit. The repetitions really help out in this because the first time, really hurts, but after a few repetitions, you can go a little bit deeper in the pose. Come out of the pose, and in the same way, park your pelvis on something. Some of you can come all the way down to have a nice ease in the pose. As you step your fingers back, keep on opening the chest really nicely as you press your toenails down. See about going a little bit lower. Now, some people, without a block under the pelvis, some people can go all the way down to supta virasana. But today we're just working on the feet. We want to keep the feet and the shins active, the shins moving forward as the toes press nicely. Come back to all fours position so that you can tuck your toes under again. And with the toes tucked under, the inner knees pressing, the inner heels even going toward each other. Maybe you can even sit back without the rolled blanket or the rolled towel, whatever you've got. Release now to come to all fours position. And again, virasana. Take your pelvis back, come down, take a seat. Take your hands back, open the chest really nicely with your fingers pointing toward your toes. Get a nice fullness. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale, lift yourself up, come to all fours position again. In all fours position, just as we did before, reach your right foot back with your right toes tucked under. Just get a nice stretch there, all the way from the pelvis to the heel. You feel this length. In order to get more length, pull in from the right toes, right at the tip tops of the toes, pull in all the way to the pelvis, so you're shortening the front side of the leg and lengthening the back side of the leg. Release your right knee down. Do the same with the left foot. So tuck your toes under, pull in from your left foot to your pelvis, reach out from the pelvis to the heel. In order to get the steady foundation on the feet, it allows us in our standing poses to really open to something so much bigger. You feel so stable on your feet when you've got some control of the toes. And just pausing in some of these poses allows for just a little bit more enlivenness, feeling of engagement. Release now. Come to standing pose and pause for a moment in standing. Stand in Tadasana, just like when we started. Lift and spread your toes. Now take the toes down, but keep the spread of the toes. Maybe you feel just a little bit more engagement, a little bit more alive through the legs. Now grab either a rolled blanket or a rolled sticky mat, using this for this pose. So take your mat right at the front of your mat and take 2 blocks in front. Step your feet hip distance apart, right on the rolled either blanket or towel or extra yoga mat, and take your hands down to tall blocks or whatever you've got. So bend your knees slightly and just let your heart soften down. Now after the work on the feet, we're working up the legs, so we get a little bit more length in the back side of the legs this way with a little elevation. So in this forward fold, allow the in-breath and the out-breath to flow nicely. Let's do a little movement with the upper body. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften down. 2 more times. Press down through the base of the big toe and the outer heels. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower yourself down. 1 more time. Inhale, lengthen out. Keep the spine in its nice natural curves. Try not to round too much in this version of Uttanasana. With your hands to your hips, with your knees bent, draw the heads of the arm bones back and rise up. Step back with your left foot. It's kind of a balancing pose here. Keep your right foot right on the rolled mat. Place your hands either on your elbows so you have an elbow frame, or you can take your hands in reverse namaste position, whatever, or hold onto your wrists, whatever works for you. Stay balanced as you lean back and just trust in the back foot, the back leg to steady you. Exhale, draw your heart forward. Keep on pressing on the base of the big toe to press into the mat as you just lower yourself a little bit closer to the mat. Inhale, root down to rise up to come out of the pose. Exhale, release your hands. Step your back foot back to the rolled sticky mat. Stay balanced here. Take your hands to the tall blocks. Inhale, get long and tall. Rise up. Exhale to soften down. 2 more. Rise up. Exhale, soften. And 1 more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and soften. Bend both knees. Take your hands to your low back and rise up. Keep your hands behind you, and again, hold on to the wrists, the elbows. Step your right foot back. Pause here. As we come to Parsvottanasana, get the back leg to be strong. You stay rooted in your foundation. And with that strength of the back leg, you can just soften and direct your heart forward first. Keep the back leg strong as you dive a little bit deeper into your pose. Have the legs feel like they're kind of scissoring in toward each other as you still root down through the base of the big toe and the outer heel. That will help you get that sort of twisting action that we were working with the hands. Root down through the back foot to inhale, rise up, come out of the pose. Exhale, release your hands. Now step off the mat. Pause here with your feet in Tadasana, just like we started. Lift and spread your toes. Draw the spread toes down to the mat and enjoy the aliveness of the legs now that you have a strong and steady foundation. Namaste.